YouTube and the Auburn fan base. Again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. We're talking Auburn football. Like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Down in Deep South, college football is king, and on the plains of Auburn, the battle cry is War Eagle. All right, so Auburn's in the second week of camp. There's been a lot of rave reviews that have been given out with the wide receiver core, and most notably here lately, J.C. Hart has, the local talent from Lochapoka, Alabama, which is about maybe 10 or 12 miles away from Auburn, shows that he's starting to catch his stride. He's a very physical specimen at 6'2", a little over 200 pounds. That has been really physical and has shown that he could possibly transfer his skill set from 1A. Hell, Lochapoka might be 2A, I don't know. But either way, translate that skill set over into Power 5 college football, especially in a Power 5 conference that now has onboarded Oklahoma and Texas, of which Auburn takes on Oklahoma. Now, just recently, Paul Finebaum has, hit the media outlets and said, you know what? I kind of like what Auburn is doing with recruiting. Now, let's do a little background on Paul Finebaum, who I think is a well-respected journalist. His opinions are not always mitigated, but you cannot take away his impact on SEC football. He has had that radio show for a long time, and then transferring that thing over to the SEC network, serves as an analyst, especially during pregame on game days for the SEC network. And I think, you may not always agree with him, and you may not always like what he says, but he's put his stamp as an analyst in SEC football. And I think for that reason, he has garnished a lot of respect. He's been in the game for a long time. He went to the University of Tennessee. He's now 69 years old, so he's probably approaching those, he's in those twilight years of the analytical realm, if you will, kind of like Lee Corso and some of those guys who are starting to kind of fizzle out as analysts. And, I just think, he's a very pivotal piece to the history of the SEC and his ability to analyze the game, or in Lane Kiffin's interview with him, lack thereof. But I like Paul Finebaum. I don't have a big problem with Paul Finebaum, but he's very complimentary of the Auburn Tigers, and he says, you know what, you look at a team that was finished 17th in the country in 2023 recruiting, but in 2023 they were 5th in the transfer portal rankings. Part of the big deal in that 2023 ranking is, Auburn got a lot of production out of Keldrick Falk, K.N. Lee as well. I thought K.N. Lee was very impressive in that game against California on the road. And Connor Lew, who was able to solidify his spot as a center once, that injury occurred to the former center. And Jeremiah Cobb, he made some pivotal plays as well. And I think Jeremiah Cobb is doing a good deal of trying to stick and stay with the Auburn Tigers. And I think that's, super significant that Auburn can push the envelope recruiting-wise, considering that, they've been 6-7 for the past few seasons. And, 2024 and the 2024 class seeing a significant jump. However, now normally when you have a coaching staff that brings on brand new assistants coming off of a pretty unsuccessful season from the year before, normally you don't have the type of success that Auburn had in 2024. I thought it was kind of huge that Auburn was able to acquire Cam Coleman and some of those other guys in this particular class. just think about what they were able to accomplish or not accomplish in 2023. You know, you're competitive against Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss, who are solid. I mean, have been solid recruiting over the last few years. But you, in turn, lose by double digits to LSU, New Mexico State, and Maryland. Maryland in that bowl game. But 2025, this 2024 class shifted that perception. 2024 having Cam Coleman in that class. And, you know, overhauling the wide receiver room, adding some key pieces to the offensive and defensive line, giving, you know, hope that even current presumed starter Peyton Thorne at quarterback, that, you know, most of the Auburn fan base is pretty much written off. You know, maybe he can get back to his 2021 form where he led Michigan State to an 11-2 record and a Peach Bowl win and threw for 3,000 yards. You know, Finebaum's compliment comes at the heel of Auburn's epic ship in recruiting. For the last few weeks, Auburn has just done a great job. They got Jarrett Smith landing Eric Ward as a safety, and Derek Smith from Southside Selma, the athlete and wide receiver, and most notably, flipping Antonio Coleman again from Alabama after he had committed to Auburn, then recommitted to Alabama, now flips right back to Auburn, really catapulting this class to a top 5 class, you know, as Auburn enters the season. And who's to say what could possibly change if Auburn is really successful in this 2024 season? Most notably, and we'll leave with this, you know, I think, you know, Auburn did a really good job and pretty much had to do this with Alvin Henderson from Elba, Alabama, previously committed to Penn State, but Auburn did not recruit a running back the entire cycle of the 2024 class and pretty much had to add to that depth. And I would go on to say that is a huge possibility, and I want y'all to look out for this because a lot of what I say is right and turns out to be true. I think Auburn's going to go after a running back in the transfer portal to supplement not having a running back to sign in 2024. All right, this is my time here. My name is Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football. Like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Down in the Deep South, college football is king. Please leave a comment and let me know. I don't care if you like it or if you don't, but I want to hear your comments because a lot of times even your negative comments actually help me out. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Damn Eagle.